Europe, Asia, or anywhere else in the world, we are very happy to spend this time with you tonight. And this channel is dedicated to sharing the works, wisdoms, literature, and spiritual reflections of Chinese writer Xuemo. Xuemo is one of the most influential contemporary Chinese writers and cultural thinkers. His works have been translated into many languages, over 28 languages, including English, Spanish, Russian, Korean, and are now read by people around the world. Some readers know him through novels like Wild Fox Ridge and the Desert Trilogy. And the Wild Fox Ridge just won the 2026 NYC Big Book Award. Other discover him through works on inner growth, consciousness, Buddhism, Taoism, Taoist wisdom, and the nature of the human heart. Xuemo's writing is very unique because it combines literature, philosophy, spirituality, and real human suffering together. He does not write only to entertain people. He writes to ask deep questions about life. Questions like, why do human beings suffer? And what gives life meaning? How should we face fear, loneliness, attachment, and death? And in the live stream, we are going to explore one of the deepest themes in Xuemo's life, death. And not death as a cold philosophical theory, not death as something far away from us, but death as something that shaped Xuemo's understanding of life from childhood onward. How did he experience of death change the direction of his life? Why did it push him toward writing, spiritual practice, and the search for meaning? And perhaps more importantly, what can we learn from this in our own lives? So today's sharing may touch on suffering, impermanence, and the fragility of life. But at the same time, it is also about courage, awakening, compassion, and inner light. So wherever you are, thank you for being here with us. And take a deep breath, relax your mind, and let us slowly enter today's topic together. And today we want to talk about two very deep questions in Xuemo's life: death and writing. So death and writing. For Xuemo, death was never just a philosophical topic. It was something he encountered very early in life. Xuemo once said that for ordinary people, life and death are frightening. But for a true seeker, life and death themselves become the road of inner training. He believed that true understanding does not come from speaking beautiful words about seeing through life and death. It comes from turning that awareness into a way of living. Xuemo grew up in a quiet rural village in Western China. In that environment, death was not hidden away. Funeral music, crying, and mourning often echoed across the village. As a child, he already felt that death was like a huge dark hole waiting for everyone. And very early, he began asking a question many people avoid their entire lives. If everyone must die in the end, then what is the meaning of living? Later, the accidental death of his younger brother deeply shook him. For a period of time, he constantly reflected on morality. He even kept a skull in his room as a reminder that death would arrive at any moment. From then on, he began measuring life differently. Whenever he did something, he would ask himself, is it worth exchanging a part of of my life for. Hi, hello, Loic and Insane Icon. Hello, welcome to our channel. And at one point, Xuemo even fell into despair. He felt that even great literary works would eventually disappear with time and the universe itself. Hi, Loic. Nice words. Yes, that is gift. Nice message. That is gift. And then the Buddhism changed Xuemo's understanding. When he read stories of the Buddha sacrificing himself to save the tiger, he suddenly realized something important. The body disappears, the world changes, everything material eventually turns to dust. But the spirit, carried through compassion and wisdom, can continue transforming countless lives. That to him became true meaning. In Xuemo's book about life and death, he explains that death should not be seen as the failure of life. Instead, it is the final examination of whether a person has truly learned to let go. He teaches that illness, suffering, loss, and even death itself can become opportunities for awakening. And Xuemo often quoted the phrase, death has no fixed. Death has no fixed. No one knows when life will end, and precisely because of that, we should live more consciously. When we truly see impermanence, attachment naturally becomes lighter, and we begin to treasure the present moment more deeply. So for Xuemo, that was never merely something negative. It was also a teacher, and just as Louis says, that is gift, right? And it was also a teacher, a force that shattered illusions, a force that pushed him to search for higher meaning. And perhaps this is also one of the reasons he kept writing through his life. Xuemo once said, I became a writer because of the lamp inside my heart. And he had no powerful background, no resources, no shortcuts. What carried him forward was an inner light. For him, writing was never simply a career. It was part of a spiritual practice. He once said that much of his writing was completed during the intervals between meditation practice. Writing itself became another form of cultivation. And between literary success and inner transformation, he valued the latter more. Xuemo also believed that true literature should become a lamp for others. A writer should not merely entertain people. A writer should help awaken something deeper inside the human heart. His compassion for ordinary people, especially poor farmers in Western China, also became a lasting motivation behind his writing. Many of his novels describe struggle, suffering, endurance, and dignity under difficult realities. Even after becoming well known, he often said he never truly left the village of his childhood. The experience of death also taught him something very deeply. Houses disappear, possessions disappear, even loved ones eventually leave. Sometimes what remains of human life may only be a few pages of writing. But if those words can help another person suffer less, if they can bring courage, wisdom, or light to someone else, then writing has meaning. Xuemo said that good literature should make the world slightly better simply because it exists. And perhaps this is the connection between death and writing in Xuemo's life. Because life is short, so he did not want to waste it. Because suffering exists, he wanted to light a lamp for others. And because everything will eventually disappear, he searched for something that could travel beyond time, a spirit that continues shining in human hearts. Yeah. So when we truly reflect on life, death, suffering, and meaning, we begin to understand that literature is not only about stories. Sometimes a book can become a mirror, sometimes it becomes a companion during difficult times in life. Sometimes a single sentence can quietly change the direction of a person's heart. And this is also why Xuemo has continued writing for so many years, because his books are not only literary works, they are also explanations of human nature, consciousness, suffering, compassion, and awakening. So next, I would like to slowly introduce Xuemo's works to everyone, one book at a time. Some of these are novels, some are about spirituality and inner growth. Some focuses on traditional Chinese wisdom, Buddhism, and Taoist philosophy. And behind all of them, there is one common thread. How can a human being awaken more deeply, live more consciously, and bring more light into the world? So let's continue the journey together, and perhaps among these books, there may be one waiting especially for you. Okay, let's move on to the first book, The Eternal Love. You can see here, Eternal Love. Okay, Eternal Love. It is a testament to faith, hope, and redemption. And this is translated by Howard Goldblatt and Silver Chunli, translators of Nobel Prize winning literary works. This story is about the eternal dance between light and darkness, life and death, despair and love. Eternal Love is deeply moving epistolary novel told through 34 letters and diary entries exchanged between a dying woman and the author himself. The woman, known as Yato, a very cute name, Yato, is a young professional diagnosed with terminal tongue cancer. In her final month, she begins to write to Xuemo, not seeking pity, but understanding, meaning, and peace. Through their letters, they explore the deepest questions of life. What is the meaning of existence? How do we face death without fear? And can love truly outlast the body? For anyone who has battled serious illness or watched a loved one suffer, this book will speak directly to your soul. Xuemo's letters to Yato are not medical advice, they are spiritual medicine. He doesn't tell her to fight against death, he helps her find freedom within it. He tells her stories, shares moments of silence, and gives her a world of poetry and light when her physical one was fading. Readers often describe Eternal Love as a companion during grief, a book that teaches how to love without attachment and how to see beauty within pain. It reminds us that even when the body perishes, love never falls, and the spirit remains eternal. At its heart, eternal love is about redemption through compassion, about how love can transcend suffering, how the human soul can awaken in its final moments, and how every ending can also be a beginning. And these, these are some of the most beautiful and profound lines from the book. Let me share with you. The joy comes from a heart that feels beauty. It has little to do with material things or wealth. We cannot hold on to happiness forever, but we can choose to be happy in every moment. When the heart constantly feels the world's goodness, a sense of blessing surrounds us. Okay, the next quote from the book. We are always designing our own lives and even others. We create stories in our minds, imagine how things should be. Whether they are true or not hardly matters, because everything is already rushing into the past. Okay, the next quote from Eternal Love. All suffering comes from the mind, so does greed. Whether we chase or let go, persist or surrender, it's all the choice of the heart. When the heart is upright, life becomes simple. And another one, why do we travel far and wide? Isn't it to find a home for the soul? Then why not cherish each moment? Feel everything that life gives us. Sunshine or storm, thunder or rain. Each has its own taste. Let's savor them all. Okay, the next quote. What truly hurts us is never the event itself, but the gap between expectation and reality. We suffer not because of what happens, but because of the stories and fears we create in our minds. So eternal love teaches us that every experience, joy or sorrow, is part of the journey toward inner peace. If you're seeking calm, healing, and the courage to love again, this book will speak to your heart. It shows that the true cure for fear and despair isn't found in medicine, but in connection, empathy, and inner awakening. That's why many readers call it a ladder from the soul to the soul. If you or someone you love is going through illness, loss, or emotional pain, this book, Eternal Love, can bring light, calm, and courage into your life. A novel for those seeking healing, spiritual peace, and a reminder that love never dies. It simply transforms. So Eternal Love, available on Amazon, or you can search our official online store, shop.xuemo.com. On our online shop, there is over 80 books published, and you can also find some cultural creative products, very cute products. So Eternal Love, highly recommend. Eternal Love. And the next work I would like to share with you is, let me check which one. The next book I want to share with you is the Love Letters from the Goddess. And there is a cute American girl who is only 11 years old. She started reading Xuemo's work from the age of 8, and so she has finished reading 4 of Xuemo's works, and the Love Letters from the Goddess is her favorite. Okay, let me show you the book. Love Letters from the Goddess. The Forbidden Letters of a Nepali Goddess and a Tibetan pilgrim's quest for freedom. When a devoted monk meets a divine goddess, when unwavering faith collides with irresistible love, does it lead to transcendence or downfall? Love Letters from the Goddess unveils the profound dilemma through 36 soul-stirring letters, carefully selected from the holy monk and the spirit woman. Hidden in the void for a millennium, these letters now come to light, revealing the poignant and timeless romance between Sawadi, a retired Nepali living goddess, and Kamanaja, a Tibetan pilgrim on the quest for ultimate freedom. Their story transcends the boundaries of time and space, weaving together themes of devotion, passion, and spiritual awakening. So let's see the highlights of the book. When Love Letters from the Goddess was first released, it immediately captured the hearts of urban readers and university students alike. In an age that feels short of true love and faith, the 36 letters written by Shravadi, tender, poetic, and deeply spiritual, have touched countless souls who still believe in pure love. The spiritual master, Kantanaja, who lived over 1,000 years ago and journeyed through India and Nepal in search for truth, he inherited the teachings of more than 150 great masters, becoming a bridge between civilizations. And during his pilgrim, he met Shravadi, a former goddess of Nepal who had renounced her throne. The kingdom blossomed a love that was both human and divine, or divine, expressed through the letters they exchanged, each one a dialogue between earthly affection and spiritual awakening. But this was not an ordinary love. As a yogic practitioner, Kamnaja longed for something greater than desire, a love that transcends body and time. That secret tension between devotion and renunciation gives her their story a mystical beauty that continues to move readers today. So these letters, preserved for centuries, offer rare glimpse into a romance that defines conventional boundaries. A tale that resonates with seekers of truth, lovers of romance, and any captivated by the interplay of spirituality and human emotion, set against the backdrop of ancient Nepal and Tibet. The story is steeped in the mysticism and traditions of the Himalayas. Love Letters from the Goddess is more than a love story. It is a journey into the heart of what it means to seek freedom, to love deeply, and to transcend the limits of the human experience. Perfect for readers of spiritual literature, historical romance, and those who cherish tales of profound connection. It's more than a romance, it's a meditation on what it means to be truly human. Love Letters from the Goddess reveal the beauty, wisdom, and resilience of the human soul. So stay inspired, stay hopeful, and happy reading. Love Letters from the Goddess. Available on Amazon. Okay, let me check the message here. Love from Bennett. Hello. Chris, only one. He is self-sufficient. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your message. Thank you for coming by. So, these books are all available on Amazon, and if you want to explore more of Xuemo's works, you can check our official online store, shop.xuemo.com. There are over 80 titles there on our online shop. And also there are cultural creatives there. So let us continue our journey through Xuemo's works with another very special book. Each of Xuemo's books explore a different side of life and the human heart. And the next book I want to share is The World is a Reflection of the Mind. In this noisy and chaotic world, we scroll endlessly, chase endlessly, think endlessly, and yet our hearts grow heavier. We try to fix the world outside, but forget to look within. The book, The World is a Reflection of the Mind, is not just a book, it's a mirror. It tells us the world you see is the echo of your inner world. When your mind is restless, everything seems broken. When your heart is calm, every chaos becomes harmony. Through gentle words and timeless Eastern wisdom, Xuemo guides us back to the quiet center of our being. He reminds us that peace is not something we find in the world. Peace is what we bring to the world. When we understand our own mind, for readers in the West who feel lost, anxious, or disconnected, this book feels like a light in the fog, a quiet companion whispering, "You are not alone. Your world changes when your heart awakens." So, if your heart longs for clarity, for stillness, for meaning, let this book be your mirror. Let it help you rediscover who you truly are. And the world you see is nothing more than a mirror of your heart. A joyful person sees joy, a sorrowful person sees sorrow, an angry person sees injustice. This simple idea forms the core of the book. Our consciousness shapes our reality. Xuemo writes, if the heart is like still water, the world will reflect it clearly. But if the heart is muddy, the world becomes a distorted illusion. Most of us spend our whole lives trying to change the world around us, yet few think of changing the world within. But once the heart changes, everything changes. And he shares a small story. Two people look at the same half glass of water. One side is half empty, the other smiles. It's half full. The same glass, yet two completely different worlds. Happiness doesn't come from what we have, but from how we see what we have. Right? Happiness does not come from what we have, but from what we see, how we see what we have. And another line from the book touched me deeply is this: your troubles are not your enemies, they are your teachers. Each worry hides an opportunity to grow. When you see obstacles as stepping stones, they lift you higher. And perhaps the most liberating truth of all: the past is gone, the future has not arrived, only the present is real. To live is to be fully here, to eat when eating, to drink when drinking, walk when walking, work when working. That is true mindfulness, and that is the beauty of the present moment. And reading the world is a reflection of your mind feels like entering a quiet retreat within yourself. It's a journey of self-discovery and healing, an invitation to pause amid the noise of the world, to look inward and to rediscover the beauty and the meaning of life. Hi, I see several old friends here. Thank you for your time and thank you for your message. Love from China. And if you're new here, please subscribe to our channel. So when we let go of attachment and prejudice and begin to see the world with new eyes, we realize that beauty has always been there. We just forgot how to see it. If you're searching for peace, purpose, or clarity, this book will gently guide you inward, helping you find the still, luminous space within your own heart. There was a young woman who met author Xuemo at the Beijing Book Fair. When she saw him, she broke down in tears. She had suffered from severe depression, even self-harm, and her arm still bore the scars. Her story is one shared by so many in today's world. People overwhelmed by pressure, loneliness, and pain. But after reading The World is a Reflection of the Mind, she said she finally found strength. She found light. She found her way out of the darkest chapter of her life. That's the power of this book. It doesn't just teach, it heals. Its words awaken something silent and secret within us. So, if you've ever felt lost, restless, or uncertain, perhaps this is the book you've been waiting for. Because when the heart becomes clear, the path ahead opens. And then you'll realize the world was never against you. It was always the reflection of your mind. You can find this book on Amazon, or you can find it on our online official store, shop.xuemo.com. And maybe you'll find yourself within it. So The World is a Reflection of the Mind by Xuemo. You can search for Xuemo, Xuemo. Again, our official online store, shop.xuemo.com. So the way you think is the way you live. See the world and others as mirrors of yourself. To know yourself and to grow yourself, this book offers practical methods for modern souls tormented by anxiety, helping readers experience genuine and transformative change in everyday life. It is a book of wisdom that unveils the truth of the world and the mind. It has already helped tens of thousands of people emerge from the low points of life, restoring inner peace and joy. Seeing the world clearly allows you to become an advanced player in the game of life. Seeing your mind clearly allows you to become a master of your own heart. And you can see this is the English edition, and this is the Spanish translation edition. And this book, The World is a Reflection of the Mind, has been already translated into 10 languages. So The World is a Reflection of the Mind. Highly recommended. Yeah. And let's continue. The next book is one that many readers around the world have deeply connected with. It is The Wild Fox Ridge. The Wild Fox Ridge. It won a lot of international awards. So Wild Fox Ridge. It is one of Xuemo's most imaginative and breathtaking works. Wild Fox Ridge. It's a novel that blends mystery, philosophy, and spirituality into one unforgettable journey. Wild Fox Ridge has been translated into English, German, Persian, Hindi, and several other languages. A true milestone in the global recognition of Chinese literature. This novel has received multiple international honors: 2024 International Impact Book Award, Mystery Thriller category, Gold Award at the 2025 New York City Book Awards, 2025 International Book Award by the U.S. Book Fest Committee, the 2026 NYC Big Book Award. And it has also topped Amazon's bestseller charts multiple times, winning the hearts of readers around the world. If you love mystery, fantasy, and stories that make you think, then Wild Fox Ridge by Chinese writer Xuemo is one book you absolutely shouldn't miss. And this story begins with haunting mystery. 100 years ago, two camel caravans, one Mongolian, one Chinese, vanished deep in the western desert. They were carrying gold, silver, and tea on their way to Russia to trade for weapons to overthrow the Qing dynasty. But when they entered a place called Wild Fox Ridge, they simply disappeared as if swallowed by the sand. A century later, the narrator, I, travels into the same desert to uncover the truth. Through a secret ritual, he summons the spirits of the lost caravans. One by one, the ghosts appear to tell their stories of greed, love, betrayal, and faith. Each ghost remembers the past differently, and the truth becomes a puzzle made of many voices, like a desert marriage that fades as you draw near. But what Fox Ridge is not just about the past, it's about our world today. A world full of wars, confusion, and half-truth. It asks, when everything we see could be an illusion, how do we find what is real? When the world turns cruel, how do we keep our hearts kind? For young readers, it is a thrilling, mysterious adventure full of ghosts, rituals, and the unknown. For thinkers and dreamers, it's a deep reflection on truth, illusion, and awakening. And for all of us living in this chaotic age, it's a story about finding peace within. So if you want a book that makes you feel, imagine, and reflect, you can get this book, Wild Fox Ridge. It's a journey through the desert of the soul. The book is available on Amazon, and you can also check our online visual store, shop.xuemo.com. So if you are searching for a story that is thrilling, deeply moving, and spiritually profound, Wild Fox Ridge will take you on an unforgettable journey across deserts, dreams, and the human heart. And Xuemo's titles. Every book is not just a story, it's a path to enlightenment. And since its release, the Wild Fox Ridge ebook has received glowing praise from American readers, maintaining an unbroken 5-star rating on Amazon. And many readers have shared heartfelt reflection on the review section, writing long, passionate messages about how deeply the story moved them. Through their own reading experiences, they have introduced Xuemo's world to others, turning one book into a bridge of a cultural connection and shared community. Okay, so this is the introduction of the book Wild Fox Ridge. Okay, let's see what's the next two. Okay, let's continue. The next book, Selected Stories by Xuemo. Okay, let me check. Selected Stories by Xuemo. So let me share with you one of the most touching short stories by Chinese author Xuemo from his collection Selected Stories by Xuemo. This book gathers several of his most powerful tales, stories set along the ancient Silk Road, exploring themes of faith, love, fate, and redemption. And there are 4 stories in this book. And why the story matters. Because for many readers, this story feels universal. It's not just about China, it's about us. It's about aging, loneliness, and the strength it takes to face the passing of the time with grace. And Selected Stories by Xuemo has been translated into more than 20 languages. This English version is translated by sinologist Nikki Harman. She says, I'm very honored to have the opportunity to introduce Xuemo's novels to English readers and open a window for them to have a glimpse of Chinese literature. So if you love meaningful stories that bring you peace and reflection, this is a must read. Selected Stories by Xuemo. It's a perfect book for readers who love world literature, Asian stories, or deeply emotional writing. And if you want to explore the heart of the Silk Road, to feel the emotions of people who lived, loved, and endured, Selected Stories by Xuemo is the book for you. Okay, so we spoke about life, death, suffering, meaning, and the inner journey of a human being. And through Xuemo's works, we can feel that literature is not only something to read. Sometimes it becomes a kind of awakening, and sometimes it becomes a quiet companion in different moments of life. And sometimes it becomes a light that helps us see ourselves more clearly. Perhaps that is why Xuemo continues writing, to leave behind not only stories, but also warmth, wisdom, courage, and compassion. So if today's sharing resonated with you, we warmly welcome you to continue exploring Xuemo's books and teachings with us. You can find Xuemo's books on Amazon and at our official website, shop.xuemo.com. Our official store also includes cultural products connected to meditation, daily reflection, and inner growth. And if you enjoyed today's live stream, please subscribe, share, and join us again next time. No matter where you are in the world, thank you for being here. May you carry a little more peace in your heart today. May you carry a little more clarity into your life. And may we all continue walking towards more wisdom, compassion, and light together. So see you next time.